What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bustin' Balls. I am your host, Eric Pennell. OW20 is my squirt. I do man shit, and this is a 100% white-owned podcast. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? Hope your life's doing well. We're now in the month of May 2021, and trying to get back to normal, man. I'm here in Chicagoland, and it's starting to look a little bit pretty outside, starting to plant flowers, starting to mow the grass now, and starting to do man shit out there. You know what I'm saying? Get out there and do some man shit, you know? Get some fucking sweat on. Even if you're a woman, do some man shit, you know? Do some woman shit, you know? And you'll have more respect for yourself. Dude, I was just watching License to Drive with my wife the other night because my wife loves Corey Haim. She's got such a fucking a clit flicker for Corey Haim, you know, which Corey Haim was a handsome dude. You know, it's so funny how Corey Feldman always hates on Corey Haim, but no kidding why he always hates on him. How he said, oh, Corey Haim was a piece of shit. He's this. It's straight up jealousy, dude. Corey Haim was like a fucking star, and, you know, he was like leading man looks, and Feldman looked like a character actor that was like gonna fucking eventually go nowhere, which, you know, Corey Feldman, if he wouldn't have got fucking weird, he could have just been a character actor. If he would have just said, look, man, as an adult, where he just goes, look, yeah, this is the way I look. I feel comfortable with it. I'm not a leading man, and but I can do some work. He was a very successful kid actor, but man, as Corey Haim passes away and over the years, has he really shit on him and stuff. And he was also in License to Drive. It's so funny how Corey Feldman was supposed to be the cool guy and License to Drive. There's so many things in License to Drive that like, it's like, you know, as you watch it, you go, this is so like make-believe world. Corey Feldman is pulling chicks. Remember when they went to I don't know if you ever watched it, but they go to like a little car hop place where you go order food, and Corey Feldman's pulling chicks, like pulling women and stuff, and it's like, this dude's pulling women? Give me a break. And then he's wearing cool clothes. You know, he's wearing like cool clothes. And, you know, Corey Haim's like the guy that's like, what? And I tell you what, Heather Graham in License to Drive, holy shit, she was, you know, I don't know how old she was. So if I'm commenting on a 16-year-old, go fuck yourself. I don't know how old she was. I don't think she was 16. I think she was probably an adult even at that time, 18 or over. But if not, I mean, Heather Graham, always been a little hot piece of ass from the get-go, I guess, right? I mean, good for her. Good for her, Heather Graham, roller girl, you know, but that movie is so ridiculous. First of all, I watched it with my wife, and I seen that, you know, he has his grandpa's Cadillac that he steals out of the garage, and the grandpa has a grandpa license plate from California. And I told my wife, I go, how unrealistic is this? How would this guy get a grandpa license plate in the state of California? You know how many grandpas have that license plate, or they want that license plate? Like, there's only one grandpa probably in the state of California that has that license plate, and what just so happens that this guy's grandpa has it. And then my wife just looks at me like, shut the fuck up. My wife looks at me like, you're an idiot. Why are you bringing this up? It's a movie, right? But God, Heather Graham was hot, man. He picks her up. First of all, does Heather Graham, like, they're supposed to get me to like believe that she blacked out just on like a bottle of champagne? Like, that's what she's doing. And another thing is, she goes to a club. He takes her to a club where his car gets towed and he has to pay like $80-something to get it let down. She goes to a club and she looks like she's dating a guy that's probably like 27. And it's like, this girl's supposed to be in high school, I thought, right? And she's dating a 27-year-old looking guy. I mean, even 25. Dude, I went to high school with a girl that was dating like a 25-year-old dude. I remember that. You ever have anybody you come across like that they date like a 25-year-old guy in high school? You don't really know it. His name was Rod, right? No, Ron. His name was Ron. You know, only 25-year-old dudes. You never. She was dating a dude, I think, named Ron. And she was like 17. He's like 25. And it's like, even then you knew it was a no-no. Who the fuck is 25 dating a 17-year-old? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it would tell you, first of all, you're 25. I remember when I was 25, I was like a man. You know, and you're in the world of being a man, and to think that a 25-year-old was going to go into the dating pool of high schoolers is disgusting, and it's such a stupid thought that most people know that that's a no-no, but not the girl I went to school with. She was dating a 25-year-old, and it looked like Heather Graham was dating a 25-year-old in that movie. But let's get into it. Here's the trailer of License to Drive, man, and it's pretty ridiculous, dude.
Meet the Andersons. They're all awaiting a big event.
For your information, this is exactly what I ate when I was pregnant with all of you.
But Les is excited about
Corey Haim is like a nerd. Like, he's like a scatterbrain.
The people at the Department of Motor Vehicles are going to be handing you your license.
His reputation is riding on it.
Do you think there's any chance we could get it Saturday night?
Not a chance.
You know, another thing is about license to drive, dude, is back in the day, getting your license, your driver's license, was like a big deal. You know, and dude, I talk to people now that say that I've heard that licenses are down for like 16-year-olds and kids like that because now they can just do Uber. It's not that big of a deal to get their license anymore because they can just Uber. Their parents can just get them an Uber account. They can get an Uber account and they can get where they want to. But back in the day, man, and maybe it is still like that with most people because it is freedom. You know, when you get your first bike, that's freedom. When you get your first, you get your license in a car, that's freedom. You know, you can fly and fly away, farther than what you've generally went and at your own will. And, but back in the day, it was a big deal to get your license. I remember my buddy Bob Hall he was the first guy in my crew that got his license. And dude, we used to just drive everywhere, just burning gas, driving by all the hot chicks in your school. We were just like driving by their house like a fucking, creep. Not like you were doing anything. You're just driving by. I don't know what. Maybe you're expecting them to be outside and then you beep and then you go, hey, what's up? You want to ride in my dad's piece of shit car? I don't know if that's what the move is, but it used to be a big deal.
The date of a lifetime depends on it.
Mercedes.
Yeah, Heather Graham,
But it
Mercedes.
doesn't look good.
You failed.
Yeah.
Failed? Anyway.
Failed his driver's test.
Is this the end for Les Anderson?
Booty call.
I thought that we had a date tonight.
First of all, whatever happened to Billy Ocean, man? Whatever happened to Billy Ocean, man? Remember he had hits like this and shit?
Listen, girl.
God, I miss Billy Ocean. Dude, where did he go? Where did Billy Ocean go? He said, had Out of My Dreams and Into My Car. That was like a huge hit. I mean, it doesn't age well. I mean, I get it. I mean, you can still play it, but it still doesn't, it sounds dated. But then he also had Caribbean Queen, right? I mean, what happened to Billy Ocean, man? The dude just straight up disappeared. I know somebody's gonna comment in the section where they go, he's here, dude. He's over there. He's still there, man. Something idiot. And it's like, dude, I don't know. You think I'm following Billy Ocean on Instagram? I don't know what's up with this guy, man.
What could possibly go wrong?
What? And now he's doing the Ferris Bueller thing too. Where he looks into the.
Hold on. You got to show him the rest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Les knew that he could regret it.
Yeah, they're showing all the clips. This is funny. This is a trailer. They're showing all the damn
He knew
play-by-play.
He won't be sorry.
Aren't you drinking rather heavily?
Man, yeah, Heather Graham was super hot in this movie, man. Super hot for a young girl. And again, if she's 16, go fuck yourself. Okay, I don't know. She looks like she's 20 to me. She looks like she's 19. Maybe I got to look it up, but look at if she's underage, that is gross. I fucking whatever. I'll take the comments back, I guess. But another thing is she looks much older than him. Like when you watch it in the movie, she looks much.
This Mercedes has a dead battery.
Yeah.
Okay, do your breathing.
But he did it anyway.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of that Cadillac. Dude, that Cadillac was primo, and then they fucking beat the hell out of that Cadillac, man. That grandpa comes back and his Cadillac is all fucked up. First of all, the insurance company, I would think, would have covered that. It's so stupid. At the end of the movie, they have a spoiler alert. It's only a 35-year-old movie. That they had the Cadillac all smashed up from the beam that fell from the building in the garage. It's like, the fucking insurance would have covered that. A fucking beam from a building fell on the Cadillac, It's ridiculous. That's another thing that's unbelievable in this movie. These 80s movies, man. Yeah.
It's like a sign from the big Mr. Goodwrench in the sky.
And that's it too.
Let's get the car home.
Dude, Feldman is trying to be cool in here and trying to be like that. That's another thing he couldn't let go, I guess. Like he's trying to be cool. It's not believable. If he would just went with it and leaned into life, he could have continued with his career and not doing Michael Jackson dance moves on morning shows and getting clowned and shit like that. He should have never done that. You ever see Corey Feldman dance? Dude, I think the only one person that could dance like Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson. You know, when anybody else tries to dance like Michael Jackson, it's like, dude, you ain't pulling it off. I get it. I get what you're saying. Like, if you were like a Jewish guy at like your cousin's wedding, you might look kind of cool for that moment that they're like, yeah, give it up for him for at least, you know, he's got something in him. But when you try to put it into the world as entertainment and have the world buy it, it ain't working, bud. And his singing, it's like, dude, your singing ain't working either. I don't know. What the fuck's up with Corey Feldman? I guess that's what happens when you do life in Hollywood, and you just turn out to be like what happens to people in Hollywood, man? Like, what happens to them? What happens to like Alyssa Milano, Rose McGowan type people? You know, Charlie Sheen went off the fucking rails. You know, I mean, dude, think about it, man. I mean, think about it. Like all these people that, and I know there's like a lot of Hollywood people that did not go off the rails, but for some reason, dude. Maybe, you know what? Maybe most people, there's a lot of people that go off the rails and they're not in the spotlight. I'll give him that argument right there.
One Piece.
And they beat the shit out of this
His
Cadillac.
father leave less in One Piece.
You are damn lucky your mother didn't go into labor town.
Dude, in the trailer of this movie, they just basically show the whole fucking movie. It's so crazy how they're showing the whole movie, man. But anyways, License to Drive, man. If you've never seen it, man, check it out. You know, it's one of those things. Like for me, it was like 80 nostalgia. You know, I mean, you know, I was an 80s kid, and you grow up in that shit, man. And you know, it's just interesting. You know, I feel like I've been paying more attention to UFC lately because it's interesting. You know, man, UFC just put out an excellent fight 2 weeks ago. And I know they just did one last night, also on Saturday, I assume, that I did not watch. But the one they did in Jacksonville a few weeks back, man, you know, it makes you pay attention to UFC. It makes you. They had full crowds. They put up a great product. And he also talks about this. Listen to what Dana White says here, and it's so true.
People tune in to watch sports. They don't want to hear that crap. They don't want to hear what your opinions are, or who you're voting for, or what you're doing.
Absolutely. You know, and it makes me think, even with like podcasting and what I do and stuff and what others do, it's like we don't want to hear it either. People don't want to hear that either. I don't like talking about anybody that's been listening to my podcast for years, or anybody that knows me. I'm like a dick and pussy joke type of guy. That's all I really am. And you know, and over the years have just gone on where censorship has hit my industry so much where you know, there's comics that are afraid to tell jokes. There's comics that are afraid to go on podcasts. There's comics that are afraid to record videos as they're acting. You could have comedians say, "Hey, we're acting right now. Do your best at acting, and let's say this, let's say that." And they go, "I'm not going to say that." I go, "Why?" And they go, "Because I don't want to get canceled or Me Too'd or whatever or something like that." You know, they don't want to get canceled is what they're saying. And it's like, well, you're acting, you know. You're acting. You're not being yourself. We'll give you a different character name, and I'm going to write down some dialogue for you, and you say the dialogue. No, I don't want to do that. It's because they're scared. You know, so that's why I started speaking up against it, because I see it directly in my business. You know, I mean, it's directly ruining comedy. I mean, sure, there's some comedians out there that actually can speak up, but Dave Chappelle has built a fan base that he doesn't even need. Dave Chappelle doesn't need Hollywood. He doesn't need, you know, he's got a lot of things on his side that he can push back on. Bill Burr has now built, and again, at one time they weren't, and they deserve that because they've built this. But most comedians that have no power and they have no influence, and they don't have the social media presence, and they don't have the fan base that has the social media presence, because that's what happens also. The fan base, they'll roar back on cancel culture, and then they push them back, and that's how these guys get saved. You know, so that's the reason why I turned into so much, you know, talking free speech, talking about, you know, First, Second Amendment, and I don't normally like talking about this stuff, but if somebody doesn't talk about it, you know, nobody's going to talk about it. Plus, also, it's not breaking news, but entertainment, most entertainers, aka comedians, actors, and anybody in that business, they don't say anything against it because they don't want it to hurt their money, of course, and that's not breaking news either. And I get it, you've heard this before, but that's why I speak up about it, and that's why I you know, you know what I feel like? I feel like a pussy if I don't. I feel like a fraud if I don't. Because look, man, like I've always said, when it's right, it's right. When it's not, it's not. Dana White.
They want to get away from everything in their life and they want to focus on whether 2, 3,
Absolutely.
4 hours, however long the sport is. Throughout this pandemic, when you turned on the UFC, we never talked about COVID. We never talked about politics. People tune in.
There you go. There you go, man. There you go. And that's how it should be. And that's how it should be. Dana White, why don't you send a memo over to the NBA? Why don't you send a memo over to the NFL? Why don't you send it over to it's amazing how ESPN, how they just jam that stuff down their throat. It's constant, and I get it. I'm a white guy, and I know how this sounds, but it's constant. White people are negative, white people are bad, white people have done bad. It's brainwashing, man. It's very, very scary. I was watching that show Band of Brothers on HBO on demand the last couple nights, and I probably last 3 nights and 4 nights. I've been ripping through them, and at night when I'm going to sleep. And the last episode, not to be spoiler alert, go fuck yourself. It's only a 10, 12-year-old fucking show. The last episode of the Band of Brothers, they discover the Nazi camps. And you see like the Star of Davids that they're putting on people, and they're just in that pandemic. And we got a jobs problem, and you're letting in people that are going to need more jobs. And also people that might not speak English, and they're going to use certain physical jobs. And there's a lot of people that are in America currently that use those physical jobs. And I don't know if you've noticed this, inflation is really growing. I don't know if you've looked at the price of wood. I don't know if you looked at the price of gas. I don't know if you looked at the price of food. I was just talking to a restaurant owner yesterday that's my friend, and he sells a lot of chicken wings. And he told me a case of chicken wings went from $69 to $181, just like that overnight. And he can't just bump up his menu and change the prices like that, because his customers won't understand it. So I mean, we got many problems. I mean, border is one of them. That is a problem. I mean, we have an opioid problem. That is a problem. We have a homeless problem. That is a problem. We have a jobs problem, right? I mean, we have big problems. Also, we have, air quotes, a pandemic going on right now. That is a huge problem. So to think that white supremacy is our biggest problem, that's how ignorant that these people are to say that. And also, like myself, knows this. You don't think they don't know this? You don't think they have the research? You don't think that they have the education? They know it. They know it. But anyway, so good for you, Dana White. You're right, man. Nobody wants to tune into this stuff, and that's what you hear. You don't want to hear that. It's just like, let's play sports and shut the hell up, man. That's it. Just shut the hell up and play sports. And again, I know they go shut up and dribble for LeBron James, and they don't like that. Shut up and dribble. Well, guess what, man? You know what? This is a place where we could all go there and root for one team or against one team, whether you're a conservative, a progressive, a leftist, or a communist, or whatever the hell you are. We could all go there, high five, and come and meet in common ground and be respectful to each other. But no, they can't even have that. They have to even take it to there and then divide us up where we go. Who's with us? Who's with us? I thought we were just Laker fans. I thought we were just Cleveland Browns fans. I thought we were just this. Nope. I thought we were San Francisco 49er fans. Nope. We have to divide even those fans up. That's the way it is now. Talking about NFL, the NFL draft was just on a couple nights ago. Well, hell, and they took Justin Fields from Ohio State. I'm so glad that the Chicago Bears finally, hopefully, have a decent quarterback. This guy looks like he has all the talent in the world, so hopefully he'll do well. Him being Ohio State quarterback doesn't do him any justice, but I guess there has to be one that's going to eventually do well. It always blew my mind that Ohio's, that the Chicago Bears never had a great quarterback. And I know somebody that might be a Bears fan might have something to say about that, but who? If you're a Chicago Bears fan and you're listening right now, who's the best Chicago Bears quarterback of all time? Is it Jim McMahon? Is it Jay Cutler? Is it some old dude from way in the back that I can't even remember his name? It's that long ago. Is it that guy? Because it just blows my mind that the city of Green Bay, which is just a little town, 4.5, 5 hours north of Chicago, and little town like Green Bay has 3 Hall of Famers. They have Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers in that little town. How does the great city of Chicago not have a Hall of Fame quarterback? Who is it? So hopefully this Justin Fields, not to say he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he could be. He has a possibility, but the most importantly with the Chicago Bears, at least they have a chance now. At least they have a chance that like they got to. It's like, let's see what this guy has, and the organization's yours, bud, and run with it. And the Chicago Bears fans want you to succeed. You know, that's another thing is who's the best Bears wide receiver of all time? Who's it? Willie Gault? Is it? You know, I mean, who was it? Alshon Jeffrey? You know, I mean, again, they haven't had. I know they're known for defense, Chicago Bears, but it's like, guys, can you focus on offense a little bit? Can you focus on all? And look, obviously, they had one of the greatest running backs of all time. Okay, I know people are listening to go, what about Walter Payton? I go, yeah. I'll tell you who also wasn't bad. I mean, he's not Walter Payton at all. But I tell you what, who doesn't get his respect? Matt Forte. Matt Forte was a beast. I mean, if you look at Matt Forte's numbers, you know, especially if it's somebody that like myself that did fantasy, man, there was like 2-3 years where Matt Forte was like a beast. He was running for a lot. He was getting touchdowns, and he was catching for a lot. He was getting touchdowns. Very valuable. Another thing about fantasy, dude, I had somebody I talked to the other day that brought up fantasy, and I have not thought fantasy football probably for 5 months. Not 5 months. When was it over? I mean, it was over 3-4 months ago. And he put my mind on fantasy football. Guess what? I'm going to start doing fantasy football drafts now after the draft's over now. And it's almost, I told the dude, like, thanks a lot, dude. I forgot about fantasy for like 3 weeks, man, for a second quarterback. You know, it is worth the risk. I don't know which dude it is, but it's somebody. Guys, Bustin' Balls Podcast on Instagram in most platforms, TikTok, Eric Pennell Comedy on most platforms. If you'd like the podcast, please share it. If you don't like the podcast, please keep it fucking moving. I don't care. I understand. You don't like me. We're not a love connection, and I'm sure whatever you do, I probably wouldn't like your dumb shit either. Look, I just try to come on here and I try to be honest. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. You know, I'm trying to be honest for me, and I'm trying to be honest for you. And I hope everything's going well with your life. I hope you're grabbing ass. Hope you got your face in some puss, and I hope you're getting good money. And I hope all your people are healthy.